The Army Painter is my favorite hobby company in the entire world. My desk is literally full of Army Painter products, and it takes me from being an average painter to putting above tabletop standard models out into the tournament scene. Not only that, but the Army Painter has sponsored more competitive play than any other hobby company in the industry. They allow us to keep doing the things that we do. If you enjoy the Army Painter as much as I do, head over to thearmypainter.com where you can use the discount code ARTOWAR5 to get a discount on your next order.
Hello, it's our live show on a Thursday.
It's a Thursday. Another one.
That's right. They keep coming.
They keep coming.
I keep trying to stop them, but they will not listen.
And they won't stop coming, and they won't stop coming.
Yeah. So we're here to analyze the meta. We're here to talk about how have events been doing. We're here to answer any questions, any super chats they have. We're here to chat. We're here to yap a little. You know, hang out, have a good time. Hey, how you doing, Michael?
You know, I'm doing all right today. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm doing quite good. I got my coffee, so how bad can that be?
Yeah, that's exactly.
You know? If you like our content, if you like anything that you see, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified anytime we go live or have any content come out, because we post games every single week here. And then if you like our content, you can get even more of it. Maybe you're looking for more analytical content. Down in the link below, there's a 3-day free trial of the War Room at thewarroom.vhx.tv. We put out actually like too much content there. Every week for you guys,
especially recently.
So, if you like any of this, please go ahead and check that out. It's free, free 3-day trial. You can go watch all our videos on your faction, all that sort of stuff. So, thank you for joining us, and let's dive right in. So, we have a new meta here.
Yeah. So Slate's gone live. We had a bunch of changes and like not a bunch of changes, kind of at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys had trouble like coming up with like 10 big changes.
Yeah. So the big thing now is that some of the kings kind of stayed, right? So like Thousand Sons are just coming out. Death Guard had just come out.
Thousand Sons stay winning, man.
Yeah, they just like stayed good, right? The difference is New Blood Angels, right?
Yep.
And then the other difference is EC got nerfed, and then we can kind of see how that impacted how they went from there, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, right? Like, the biggest change I think was Ynnari, because Ynnari just got...
Ynnari are gone.
But then after that, it was like, here's 100 points, or I'm taking away 100 points from you.
Yeah, it just kind of shifted around a little, you know what I mean? Like, especially since armies like Guard, for instance, got nerfed a little, but you can they were very easy to pivot changes, especially since they gave them Bulgrin back.
Yeah.
Right,
Like, I mean, Blood Angels got, like, the amount of points of, like, a jump pack intercessor and an enhancement, which I'm not going to say is nothing. It is valuable. It's relevant.
It's good.
But it's not going to, like, fundamentally redesign how that list functions.
No.
Same thing with Emperor's Children. I don't think either of those lists really, like, fundamentally changed their makeup. Eventually, with points increases or points decreases, you do get to that point.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a critical mass, and I'm not convinced anyone hit their critical mass on this one except Ynnari, right? But
yeah. So we'll see. I do think the meta is very similar to us before. I think Chaos definitely reigns supreme.
Chaos
right
is
now.
king. Yeah, Chaos is gonna probably stay king for the next 3 months.
Something like that. Yeah, like Death Guard are very good. Emperor's Children are very good. Thousand Sons are very good. And between the three of them, they also kind of do all the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? If you try to just trudge into an army, Thousand Sons and Death Guard will just blat you into oblivion.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to play like a super cagey, like runaway kind of like technical game, Emperor's Children are just going to find you where you live and flush you out of your hiding holes, right? Like Thousand Sons, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think want any part of EC.
Okay, so it kind of depends. I've seen this matchup go two ways now. So on a more open board, the EC matchup gets significantly easier.
That makes sense.
Right. However, if you were playing on a more closed board, I found that matchup very difficult to interact with.
It sounds good.
Like very, very difficult to interact with. Magnus may change that, right?
Magnus is cool.
The -1 damage Magnus was like actually tough for EC to deal with.
Yes, they have to basically like grenade and like 2 princes have to charge.
Yeah, the Noise Marines can kind of pump, right? But you gotta like line it up, and as a Thousand Sons player, you have like some options. So I'm not. That matchup seems weird based on list construction, what board you're playing on, potentially what mission you're playing on. So I'm not convinced it goes one way or the other yet.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely have to see more of that. It's interesting to see that you do a play on some open boards because fast melee that can go scoop you out. You definitely need to have that space of like an open field to shoot them. On. I've also found that a lot of these like technical melee armies, like EC or like Angelic Inheritors or stuff like that, really rely on having a skill diff on your opponent.
Yeah.
Like EC, if you're worse than your opponent, it's going to be a rough time. If you're better than your opponent, it's going to be a rough time for them.
Yeah.
I found so. We'll see. So let's open up. We got Meta Monday here. We've got the stats curator himself, JCMS. Looking at some win rates. The win rates are fairly even across the board, which is interesting. Some of these, including Bristol GT, or Super Major actually, not new rules.
Yeah, not new rules.
Not new rules.
Just old stuff still.
So this data is going to be a little bit
of a mixed set.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Next week is when I think probably everything will be new stuff. If I had to guess, unless it's like a team event or something like that, it maybe could be broken down. But next week you're going to see like a full suite of data.
Yep. And if you put any super chats in there, we will get to all of it at the end. Have no fear. We'll go through every single super chat. So if you post it, just stay tuned. We'll get to it for sure. All right. We've got AdMech at 57%. Don't think too much into this. There's 10 players.
AdMech is fake.
AdMech did get a lot better with the changes. I played into Richard's AdMech yesterday, and he had a punch bot unit.
The punch bots.
That fights first and had 27 attacks.
Yeah, I can see that.
At twin linked damage 3.
I can see that.
At strength 12.
Yeah.
Those numbers are fake.
I can see how that can be a thing.
Yeah. So he did some cool stuff there, and that game, I mean, it made that game close.
Right.
Because I can't just rush down the punch bots. So
they're kind of tough too, right?
They are kind of tough. I think he's trying some AdMech into you as well today, right?
Yeah, today we're going to be doing that.
So you can catch all those games. They'll be coming out next week, I believe, but you can catch them all in the War Room. We got Imperial Knights here with 62 players, a 54% win rate.
Now, this is like actually a notable stat, right? And it's been ongoing for actually quite a few weeks now, this Imperial Knight data. Like,
yeah, because IK didn't change at all, so this is all relevant.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see the Imperial Knight data like just continue to be good. I don't know quite what happened other than like maybe the correct build was discovered, but Knights have had so much success for the past couple months.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen several different variants, right? I've seen the multiple big variant, right, where you take like 2 bigs that shoot, and one of them's Canis, because
Canis is crazy.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And then you take like 4 or 5 littles, and then you take a bunch of trash. That's kind of Brian's approach, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what he won Cherokee with. Then I've also seen Canis and like 11 or 10 or whatever. And then I've seen whatever they're called, not the Rampager, the other one, a Gallant with 12.
Yeah.
And those are all really scary, man. If you can't deal with that quickly, right? Like, oh, I can kill an Armiger, no problem. Can you kill 12?
Yeah, like, it's just so many bodies on the table all at the same time that do just kind of enough damage. I'm, like, very biased whenever I think about Knights, right? Because as, like, an Orc player, I just go kill them all. So I was always very confused when I found out that army was actually really quite good.
Yeah.
Like... But yeah, the Imperial Knight data is really quite interesting. I would really like to figure out and like dive into a little more about like what changed to make it more successful. Yeah. Like if it was just the meta change or kind of what happened.
I mean, this is old like matchup data, but when I was explaining to Nick that like no, my Marines did not actually want Chaos Knights. It's like, what do you mean? You got like Oath and you got like Vindicators? I'm like, yeah, that's good for one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's good for one.
Yeah, I definitely could say that, especially since Ultramarines have been so popular, right? Like pre-Slate, Ultramarines were the king, and they probably could struggle to kill all of the Knights, right?
Yeah, I'm always a little bit confused because, to my mind, like the Brigands and Carnivores, right, are very good at killing like everything. If you have like Hordes, they got million chain cannons, and they got the indirect and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And if it's like tanks and whatever, they have like all the punching and then all the melta everywhere. if you're Imperial Knights, the Helverins have like a profile they're very good into, and then that's kind of it.
It's kind of.
But Warglaves with a reroll to hit and wound are still
they're really quite
solid,
good, right?
Yeah.
And then Canis is just, I don't know, he's just nuts.
He's just a guy.
Canis is just great.
He's just a fella. So yeah, Imperial Knights stay winning, be winning. Everyone loves Imperial Knights, except when you have to play into them and you can't kill them fast enough.
Yeah.
Also, if your method of killing Imperial Knights relies on using your Warlord, good luck with that.
Yeah, that is also true. You have to be very mindful of that.
Mortarion comes out and gets gunned down by Helverins wounding on 2s at AP2 now.
That'll actually kill that guy.
It will. It will actually put him down, yeah. So, and like then he goes to strength 13 on his Melta Lances.
Yeah.
Because he just points at you for 1 CP. He gets like +1 strength, +1 AP army-wide against Mortarion.
Yeah, the first time I encountered that stratagem, I was playing like Magnus, and then he died, and I was like, oh man, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's actually really bad.
Yeah. Did you kill any knights after that, or just like one?
Believe it or not, I actually still won that game. It was quite hard, but I did play an entire game without Magnus, and it was okay.
Incredible. When exactly?
Something pre-nerf T-Sun.
Yep. No, yep. There we go. There we go. All right, so we got Custodes at a 54% win rate. And we ranked Custodes in C tier on our tier list.
Custodes have been doing fine. I think a lot of Custodes win rate is tied in that mostly the faction can just be fine, like just running at people sometimes, right? Like, I mean, 2 up, 4 up just wins games on its own, right?
Yep.
I find that Custodes it reminds me of Demons in many ways. The higher you get into the echelons of the different skill tiers, the worse Custodes get.
That's what I've noticed too, is Custodes always have a reasonable win rate.
Yeah, like they can always wreck the mid table because your opponent didn't like do the math of how to kill a 2 up, 4 up, right?
Yeah, or they just like even something as small as their opponent's list isn't efficient. Mm-hmm. And didn't apply their damage efficiently.
Yeah, Custodes punishes that really hard, right? So that just inherently will allow it to win games.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised. Custodes will always hover around a 50% win rate.
Except when they're really bad. When they're really bad, they just kind of fall apart.
They do have to be really bad at that.
But they've been fine, like balance-wise, for a while.
But I would be surprised. I mean, they have 12 X and O's and X and 1s, but, you know, what kind of events are we talking about here is the thing. You can play Custodes well. I've played Custodes. But you're just like massaging the numbers rather than like fundamentally doing anything different, in my opinion. I'm so sad. I love my golden boys. All right, Death Guard, 53% win rate. It's a little low, honestly.
Well, you look at the 19 X and O's.
Okay, never mind. That's
the Death Guard win rate is interesting to me because that army is very, very powerful. However, it doesn't like stomp everything. Right?
No.
I think the army, its rules are actually fine. I think its rules are fundamentally not broken. I think it is just too cheap, right? And if you blunder your resources anyway, then it doesn't matter how cheap you are, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that like all the access to like 1 CP reroll hits and wounds is a little. Maybe I'm biased because World Eaters came out with like no rerolls. The World Eaters are fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just the damage ceiling of Death Guard is significantly lower, right?
Yeah,
compared to like a World Eaters unit or something along those lines, right?
Oh yeah. So with the reroll hits and wounds, I mean, with the reroll hits and wounds, there are units in there that can kill like anything.
Yeah. For the Tin Marine and Plague Marine units can go like super crazy or something along those lines, but it does it to you within 12 inches.
And they're not super tough. They're T6. No feel, no pain, 2 wounds.
I think it's fine. Like I truly think the Death Guard still delete anything within 12 inches, and then past that it's fine.
Yeah, I think what they need to do honestly is just make the buggies more. The buggies are too cheap, and there's too many of them. Yeah,
the bullet drones and blight haulers are still a little too cheap right now. I think probably the heavy blight launcher needs to come up like 10. The flamer drones need to come up 10. Like blight haulers are probably fine.
I think. I'm a big blight hauler believer.
Maybe like +5, like or something along those lines. But they're mostly fine.
I'd probably say like heavy blight launcher, like up 15 or 20 or something.
15 to 20 would be dramatic in my opinion, because all of a sudden, if we do that and we up the points on that, we're looking at over like close to 150 points in nerfs to Death Guard, and Death Guard certainly don't need 150 points nerfed, right?
It's true.
They probably need like 100 points nerfed.
So let's say 10 points up on every buggy / drone, and then maybe
that's
maybe
90 points
limit
right
the Myphidics to only being units of 1, so that you
the
can't take
Myphidics
12
being
of them.
the Myphidics being units of 2 is weird to me. I think they should just be units of 1, but I don't think they're going to change that.
No, I don't think they're going to. The Codex is what the Codex is. Yeah, I mean, I think Death Guard. It really is just the buggies for me. They're just too cheap. You can take too many of them. They compound their data sheets too well. That's about it. The Terminators are fine, honestly. People lose their minds over Death Shrouds. I'm like, they're not that tough once they hit.
Yeah, the other thing too is that the Lord of Contagion that makes them like actually hit really quite hard is really expensive.
He's 110, right?
110. Yeah, so that unit's 250, right? Versus just the 143 mans, and they hit okay, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good army. It's a good army.
Death Guard are great. Death Guard are like super great. They're super nutty right now. It makes sense to me that their win rate isn't insane.
Yeah, I mean, none of the win rates are really insane other than AdMech, because there's always one outlier with 10 players or whatever. Realistically, most of these factions are in the same, like, in the 50s, right? The 50s, the 40s.
The only thing notable, kind of, like, from the rest of this...
I'm doing my best out here.
Purely
just 23%. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, there's nothing else super notable. The Eldar win rate is still high, because some of these events still have Yunari live, right?
It's 50%.
I imagine as we move on, that will start to drop down. It's also the only other army other than Necrons that has a very high like XOX1 win rate.
Yep.
Necrons have 13 XOX1, and that's just what a frustrating army.
I hate the design space of Necrons.
Yeah, I do.
Everything is an invuln. Everything heals.
Everything
has too many wounds.
It's the most difficult army to shift on the planet, and the moment you bounce into it, it entirely resurrects. Like the moment you kill like a 20-man Necron warrior back down to 5, you might as well have not killed it.
Yeah,
you might as well have done nothing.
You might as well have just gone to the bathroom.
Like actually, right? So I'm very frustrated by Necrons currently, and they made raids cheaper. So
Also, they shoot really hard. Necrons are just frustrating, man. They're just a really frustrating army to play into. They're tough for they're almost impossible for any army in the game to kill.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
There isn't actually any army in the game that looks at that.
Yeah, which is crazy for me.
Sick.
As a Warhorde player, I'm like, no, I can delete whatever I want. But I can't delete Necrons, right?
Yeah.
And if I can't delete Necrons, what in the world am I doing, right?
Karn and 10 can kill a Wraith Brick the majority of the time.
Yeah.
And that should be all the time. They're infantry, and it's my heaviest hitting anti-infantry killing unit. And I need up dev wounds, and I need up sustained, and then even then, I might not do it.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
And then they heal, what? It's 2d3 with a reanimator, and then sometimes more depending on what detachment they're playing.
It's 2d3 the reanimator, then d3 with the technomancer. And
that's right.
Sometimes they can just spend a strat and do it again. I mean, that's just my personal gripes. Really.
Hate Necrons.
Boo, Necrons, boo.
Necrons, boo.
I would never take it to Nova, and then it's broken at Nova with broken secondaries back in 9th edition.
Oh, man, that was a time.
Dude, I went to sleep at the start of every game, woke up with a 97. I'm not going to say I 100% earned that.
I miss the flavor of faction secondaries, but I don't miss the balance of faction secondaries with Necrons right around.
No, for sure not. All right. Yeah, the rest of a lot of these are in the 50% range. I don't want to take anything away from Thousand Suns here because the biggest super major did not have new Thousand Suns.
Didn't have new Thousand Suns.
Right. Krons or Custodes harder to shift. It's like an order of magnitude tougher to shift Krons than Custodes.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, Custodes can just die in the correct moment. As long as you sequence correctly or apply your resources correctly, Custodes will die. Yeah. Necrons, doesn't matter what you apply and what order and when it happens, it just will be difficult to kill.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the Necron list, but it kind of doesn't, actually, now that I mention it.
No. Necrons are going to be one of the biggest contenders of the new meta, no matter what you do. It's just going to be annoying.
Bristol's new T-Suns. That's interesting. I would have thought they did not.
Is Bristol post-slate? I from what I was looking at the results, it looked like this was pre-slate.
I mean, looking at this, right? It's June 7th. So it was played post-slate.
Just find the rule. Just find the rules cut off.
All right, let's hear.
Or you can just open up the roster. Yeah, I would be a little surprised because Josh Roberts won with Ultramarines.
I mean, Ultramarines are not bad.
So they're certainly
not
not.
bad.
They're certainly not bad. I just I thought post nerf maybe that would be like a little bit of a different world, right? Oh, I see. Bristol is pre-slate but contains
New T-Sun.
new T-Suns.
How confusing.
I see. We're in the funnest transition period of 40k right now.
Yeah. So let's look at Bristol, because most of the other armies are in like the 50% range. Like the meta is pretty damn healthy right now. Like actually pretty damn healthy. With the exception of every time I play into Necrons, I want to drive knitting needles through my eyes. But that's completely different. Also, Necrons is definitely the kind of army I would play because I get off on doing that to people. So I'm not going to make judgments.
Oh, gas! Look at Necrons, second place there.
I'm just mad that Custodes can't do it.
They just can't.
Man, I'm so sick of playing Custodes and then just like failing 4 saves in a row and being like, that's a 400-point unit. Whee!
Yeah, like that's the other thing too is that Necrons have built-in like feel no pains or like the res mechanics. Just like Custodes, like you fail too many 4-ups and it's just like.
Used to be able to get a guy back.
Just dead.
But, if I keep talking, over a year later about the Custodes Codex, I'm going to be here all day. Yeah, that thing made me want to buy a plane ticket to Nottingham. I'm just going to say that. To have reasoned discussion with them. All right. We got Josh Roberts, one of the best players in the world, playing Ultramarines, a really good list that he's played for a long time.
Nothing crazy here.
No, this is actually what I would have expected to happen.
Yep.
Like, actually just would have expected. This list is still good post-slate. It does not work as good. He loses 10 CP. That's about it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it's 10 CP. Yeah.
It is, because he gets 5 free strats.
10 CP less is a big deal.
I think you just cut Gulliman, if anything.
Yeah, you're either going to bring Calgar or you're going to bring G-Man.
Or maybe you just sit in the plus OC.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. Oh, because Calgar gets nothing. Yeah, Calgar's better than Gulliman. So we'll see. I mean, like, I think you can shift stuff around, and Calgar's still like an absolutely cracked data sheet.
Yeah, he's still great.
Yeah, he went down too, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did.
They copped a few points buffs for their minus 10 CP.
I'll be honest. The endless flow of CP just blowing me away like a tsunami.
Yeah.
It was so frustrating.
It was a really big problem. I'm very excited to see that go away.
Hammer strikes with a +1 to wound. Hello,
Storm Raven. Yeah.
Storm Raven gunship. Yeah. No, I mean, this will kill you. This will kill the crap out of you. Okay, yeah. I mean, well done to Josh. I would have expected. I honestly would have expected this. If you told me the makeup of the event going in, I'd be like, I think Josh is going to win.
Yeah,
and he did. Andy on the Necrons. We've got. Oh God. We got a name here. Hold on.
That's quite the name.
It is. It's a hell of a name, man. It's got it going on. Just extending the field. I'm just looking at some. I'm not getting all that in there.
You're not getting. This is actually too much text at the end of the day.
It's too much. It's just too much, man. And that's what makes it funny. Listen, ChatGPT is fun. I get it.
Is this what detachment is this?
This is Star Shatter. Yeah, I mean it's what Siegs is on as well, right? Star Shatter with
wraiths,
6 wraiths
and Doomsday Arcs.
Yeah, somebody's like
Silent King.
The Ultramarines list is John's list. It's like, well, all the Ultramarines lists look exactly the same.
Yeah. It's not exactly a creative expression.
Also, I think. Hold on, is this? John's list is Storm. Oh, he's playing Stormlance, so he is
playing Stormlance. I don't think John runs the 3 Storm Speeders. I could be wrong on that.
He did, I don't believe he does.
I don't think he runs the 3 Storm Speeders, but.
All right, we got Silent King, Shocker, Catacomb Command Barge, Scorpec Lords because they're still crazy, stay winning. Technomancer with somewhere in here is -1 damage for the King. It's one of these. I think it's this one. Chrono Impotence Fields. Crypto Thralls, 5 Flayed Ones, 2 solo Locust Destroyers, 1 solo Heavy, 6 Wraiths, 1 Reanimator, 3 Doomsday Arcs. Yep, I mean this is a slightly gun heavier version of what Richard's doing. Richard has less like Scorpec Lords and random characters and stuff, and 1 less DDA, and he has another Canoptic Wraith unit. Seems good. This kills you harder if you bounce off the front wall. Has less front wall. That's basically what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it just has more damage, which is perfectly fine. Like
Yeah.
Necron,
On UKTC as well.
Necrons, you really can kind of like point the needle in the way that you'd like. You can ultimate durability skew, or you can like bring actually like quite a few damage pieces.
Yeah. I mean, on UKTC terrain. Okay. Listen. UKTC terrain apologists will always tell me, "Hey, it's fixed. There's no longer these really long gun angles on them." They lie. They lie. There's these like super long angles on UKTC.
UKTC
terrain.
is still quite light, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's also that there's like just very long shooting lanes that cut through areas of the board you have to be in, and DDAs just like blast you out.
Yeah, like even defending your own natural expansion is usually pretty tough on UKTC.
I could see how this might have some problems into Marines, though, because +1 to wound Oath. If you float Wraiths, they die. If you float the Silent King, even -1 damage, it still dies with +1 to wound. And that kind of removes your ability to like hold the center reliably.
Yeah.
Still, it's a great list. I'm just trying to explain why it lost. Did it?
Oh no, to win. It was tiebreakers.
It was tiebreakers.
That's at least what it looks like.
Okay, so they're all undefeated, I guess.
Yeah, looks like 3 undefeateds.
Weird. Whack. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised he did well. He's a great player on a great list. Death Guard, we got another undefeated list going on around these parts. Plague Storm 2, Electric Boogaloo. UKTC terrain, never change. Lord of Virulence, this is Mortarian's Hammer, so you're going to have to tell me
This is the tank detachment.
What does Tendrillus emissions
It gives
do?
them loan up.
Okay. That.
As well as, I think it gives them the wound reroll aura as well.
Oh, that is gross. Okay, that's super dumb, yeah.
Let me pull it up on my phone. Let me double check it. But I'm pretty sure it's the loan up and the wound reroll aura.
Got a Predator Destructor, 3 Death Shroud, 3 Death Shroud, 2 Plague Splitter Blow Drones, 3 Blight Launchers, 3 Myphidics, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, 2 Poxwalkers. Yeah, I mean, it seems good. I'm honestly surprised by the second Death Shroud Terminator unit without a character to go with it, but it's not bad, right? Just Deep Strike 6 away and charges.
I actually really like the Node character.
Just keep it cheap?
Yeah, just keep it cheap.
Yeah,
so it gives loan up to the Lord of Violence when it's within 3 inches of a Death Guard vehicle, and then reroll wound rolls of 1.
Oh, so both the Death Shroud Terminators are by themselves. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool plan. Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, this list looks really good. Yeah, it looks really, really scary. Because Plague Burst Crawlers are also very good.
They're weird. Now, in Mortarian Hammer, this is the best version of them, right? So they are quite good here. I'm not convinced they're quite great anywhere else. But being able to force the Afflicted debuff and then roll the Mortal Wounds on a 5-up instead of the 6-up is really quite good. So you can splash a bunch of Mortal Wounds everywhere, right?
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Also, you can just point at units, make them Afflicted, and then drop Death Shroud on them.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to change this list, which I probably wouldn't, given that, he did well with it.
He did quite well with it.
Yeah, went undefeated, actually. I would probably just, take another squad of Death Shroud. But maybe you only can Deep Strike twice, right? Because you have Deep Strike on turn 2, Deep Strike on turn 3. There we go.
I do like the rapid one, but I feel like the Predator Destructor is probably pretty important for the anti-infantry guns it's offered, because the Destructor has the autocannon, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, because if you look through the rest of the list, the infantry killing is mostly just fine.
It's like 2 Plague Spitters.
It's like 2 Plague Spitters, and then I imagine the 3 Heavy Blight Drones, which are fine, but sometimes you don't roll a big number of shots, and then all of a sudden you have a problem, right? But the autocannon Predator can actually just kind of blaze through, because you're going to take the -1 save Contagion probably every single time in this army, right?
-1 a hit, just every time I see it taken, just feels like, oh, this could have just been better if your opponent was dead.
Yeah, so the -1 to save is probably the best here. So then you have the Predator Structures with the extra AP rule on top of the -1 to save, and that's just kind of why Death Guard likes them so much. It's just AP 4 effectively. Like,
what's better than -1 to hit on your opponent?
What?
-infinity to hit because they're in the ground.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, he obviously did incredibly well. This list is like bonkers. It's super good.
Yep. Another victim of the just kind of too cheap at the moment.
Yeah, lots of tanks. Too many tanks. I think a lot of this stuff could stand to go up enough that you lose like 1 to 2 tanks.
I think,
or you lose 2 tanks and one of them turns into like a Poxwalker unit, right?
Something along those lines,
right? I think that should be where it's at. But regardless, I mean, it's a good list, played by a good player, did well. I mean, we got the Roberts, doing good, right? The Robert brothers.
Yeah, I saw that.
We got Chris Radford on Blood Angels. I mean, I mean, I can tell you real fast if this was pre or post slate. Hold on. Hold, please. Chaplain, Lamarty's. It is post slate or pre slate. It's pre slate.
Yep.
And he's playing Liberator Assault Group. How long until I can play the new Wolves? How long until he can play the new Wolves?
We don't know.
It's
We just have to wait and find out. One day, GW will tell us what day they come out.
Yeah, this is a Blade Guard heavy build. He's got 2 squads of 6, which is pretty solid. I like the Chaplain with the Fight First. Yep, Speed of the Primarch in there. Other than that, he doesn't have anything for the second squad. Just kind of runs around by itself. Yeah, I mean, it seems solid, right? Does he has Lamarty's in here, right? Yeah, he does. Cool. I mean, this looks solid. Looks solid. He has some big units. He has like a mix of MSU and brick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. He doesn't go full. Never go full brick.
Never full brick.
Never full brick. Unless you want to have fun. It's a fun army. So, I mean, cool event, right? We got Necrons again. Shocker. Truly.
I mean, 1,000 Suns list, dude. Where since 1,000 Suns are here?
Dude, I have. Oh my God, Necrons. This is like the people who didn't make the top cut,
exactly.
Right? Necrons. Tyranids, okay. Eldar, Orcs, GSC, Space Marines. Bad news for you, Chief.
We got one.
We got one. Target identified.
And this looks warp meld. Interesting.
Goats are goated, I believe. Okay, so walk me through this here.
Yeah, let me take a look. So the 3 Exalted on disc, I'm going to presume these are going to be leading. Let me skip to the end.
Bow-goats?
18, Zangor and Lightnings with Fake Caster Retrogrades. Yeah, okay. All right. So after that, we have Sorcerer and Terminator armor.
He gives them loan up 18, right?
Yes, it's the mini loan up 18. Yeah. Sorcerer and Terminator armor. We'll figure out why this is here. I don't know why.
Michael has strong opinions on every T-Suns list he encounters.
3 Shamans. The Warpbell Dagger is cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, lots of Zangors. Chaos Spawn. Yep. Mutaliths. Zangor and Lightens. Oh, this is like full on the 36 Enlightened list.
Yeah, he's going full go.
Wow, that's so interesting. I'd be very curious how they use these spear goats. I have not played that unit yet. They interact with the Warp Meld Pact really oddly because they get Lance on their weapons, and the whole point of the rules is the +1 wound, right? So they already get the +1 wound.
They have Lance.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't have to kill themselves.
Yeah, they don't have to kill themselves, right? Which was the problem I ran into when I played the detachment, is I killed myself very aggressively and very quickly.
Yeah, you were also staring down CK, who also killed you very aggressively.
It was just not a good combo. Yeah, the Sorcerer and Terminator armor is very interesting here. I'm guessing they're using it just as like a deep strike piece to give +1 to hit to their Mutaliths, as well as +1 to hit to your Zangor and Lighten with bows. So then you can make all of them +1 to hit, +1 to wound at a specific target.
Is it +1 to hit? It used to be reroll 1s, right?
They changed it, okay. Yeah, because now you have the spell for reroll 1s to hit, right? So now it is +1 to hit instead.
Dude, you can get full rerolls to hit, +2 AP, +1 to hit, +1 to wound against the target.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Even with crap bows, you'll still...
Yeah, but I think that's probably what's going on here. It's an action piece that deep strikes, because sometimes Thousand Suns can actually struggle to really access that, because we're very fast in one place, but we're not so fast that we're like in your deployment zone.
It's also very rare that you want to use that fast in one place on like...
To go do an action.
Deploy teleport homers.
Exactly, right?
It's just like, well, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The +1 to hit is...
Also has a gun, right?
He has a gun. It got nerfed a little. I think it used to be 3 damage.
No, it used to be 2.
Did it used to be 2?
Yeah, I played with him.
Oh, got. I played with him a bunch too. I thought he was 3 damage for some reason.
I think it was 3 if you give him...
You can give him Vortex.
You give him Vortex, and then his gun turns Psychic as well in the past, and you just be like... No longer, though.
Yeah, no longer. So that's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a neat list. It's a lot of units.
I did not think about going full 36 Enlightened, right? That is an interesting way to play it.
He also, Zangors are OC1, too.
So in this detachment, they are OC2 in battle line.
It's a lot of models.
It's just a lot of OC2, right? Because Enlightened are all OC2, T4. Yeah, Enlightened are OC2, Zangors are OC2.
Like, it's a lot of stuff that is not the easiest thing in the world to deal with.
Yeah, I might actually give this a whirl. I think it's kind of interesting.
It seems cool. Like, this seems really cool. I don't really actually know what you would change here.
I need to understand it to change it.
It's true.
I don't fundamentally understand it yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's... The way I approach like lists I don't understand is like delve their rules and I like build it myself. And oftentimes a really good list that does a weird archetype Once I understand it and I build my own version of it, it looks very similar to the version that they made. Because there's decisions that got you there. I mean, triple Mutalith obviously is like
that's actually really
crazy.
I mean, the
Zangor Shaman, triple Zangor. What do they do?
So the Zangor Shamans give +1 to hit, and then they can deal damage to dudes to do a little more damage. That part of the rule doesn't really matter.
Oh, the make their Kamehameha a little.
Yeah, so Zangor Shamans are actually really quite good for 55 points, right? They're just little spellcasters that run around. I'm very curious.
Because they don't have sergeants in their units. So, I mean, they might, but they can't cast spells.
Yeah,
so you need characters to actually cast
You need characters to actually cast spells. And 55-point little spellcasters that fly around, and notably they picked up the infantry keyword, so they can go through walls now, which was a really big problem that they couldn't do.
Disc boys go through walls?
Yeah, they can go through walls. So I really quite enjoy the Zangor Shaman. I'd like more of them in my life.
Okay, I would love to see this on the table.
Yeah, that's a really interesting list. I would be very curious to look at this.
I'll get a game against you.
Well, we're notably missing quite a few Zangors.
Yeah, but I'm not saying on stream. You don't have the models for that yet, but maybe off stream and then report back. All right, there's one more list somebody pointed out. Jay Allen playing Guardian Battle Host. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Well, let's find out.
S-tier list name. So he's playing Guardian Battle Host, which is a series of really good rules on Guardians.
Okay.
And notably, it doesn't even benefit like attached weapon platforms. I believe you can't use a lot of the rules on attached weapon platforms, so we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. I could be wrong on that. Autark with an enhancement. Eldrad, Ulthran gives you CP. I mean, the strats are pretty good on Guardians. Farseer, Warlock. I think he gives units -2 to be charged.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah. And then Guardian Defender, Storm Guardians. Fire Dragons is pre-slate, so they're 110. Fire Dragons, Rangers, Shroud Runners, Vibro Cannon.
Okay, what does a Vibro Cannon do? I don't even know what this is.
All right, I need to delve deep in the well. The Vibro Cannon is hilarious.
It's pretty rare that I run into something that I have no idea what it does.
So the Vibro Cannon is the support platform that gets better the more Vibro Cannons you shoot at the same target.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds thematically cool.
And practically useless, yes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not so useless.
So let me go through what you're unlocking with a Vibro Cannon platform.
Weapon climbers get the rules from the detachment.
Oh, that's cool. It might just be that you can't flip 6 with the Farseer, I believe, on a weapon platform. So you get the rules. That is neat. That's good.
All right. So what's this?
Okay. So the Vibro Cannon. Every time this model makes an attack with its Vibro Cannon that targets an enemy unit, improve the strength, armor penetration, and damage characteristics by 1 for every other friendly Vibro Cannon platform model that made 1 or more attacks to the Vibro Cannon that also targeted that enemy unit this phase.
Is this a stack?
You can take 3. It starts at D6 shots, no blast, hitting on 3s at 9-1-2.
Wow, so you get this to 11-3-4 by the last
D6
one?
shots.
Okay. That's still funny.
It
is it blast?
No.
Aww.
No, not blast. You also get Shuriken Catapult.
Okay. I can see what it's doing.
Yeah.
I can see what it's doing.
I would have just taken a D cannon personally, but D cannon's more expensive because Vibro Cannon's 60, and a D cannon is not 60.
Oh, so the Guardian Defender
125
can start with a Vibro Cannon.
No. They
can't do that.
No. They do not start with a Vibro Cannon. They start with they can start with it like they're attached to it.
Right.
But no, they do not have one base on their kit. They have like a Bright Lance.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
So one spotter just absolutely rinses, and our stupid monitor.
Our monitor just
died.
Okay, it's back. All
right.
We're good.
So you can give a bunch of buffs. I hate you, monitor.
What's happening?
It died again. So you can give a bunch of buffs to a Vibro Cannon, and you can like probably kill anything you pointed at as long as you point 3 of them at it and don't roll bad in the D6 shots.
I think it's fine. This is Giga Chad behavior.
That
meme? You know the Chad meme? That's this guy.
Listen, anytime I look at someone's list and I'm like, I don't think this is particularly good, that really is just a compliment because I think he balled out.
He balled out, dude.
He balled out, and he is a complete baller. Also, there are a lot of rules in there that benefit Guardians. Like these Guardians go bananas, but they are at the end of the day Guardians. This is cool. This is cool. I need to look into this because, I mean, this is very like Agents, where you're like, I have a lot of models, and they do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what are they doing in the UK? There's some weird lists.
There's some weird lists. Yeah, it's cool. It's super cool. Well done, Jay. Seriously.
All right. I think it's super chat time.
Let's cover some chats of the super variety. Basically, every single one of them after this one was about the Necron or the Tyranid teleport.
I did see that. Yeah.
Actually, there's only a little bit, but then people were talking about it a bunch.
All right.
Okay. Will I really am? Oh my god. The monitor dies again. All right. I hate you, monitor. I'm just gonna move this to the other screen.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the other screen.
Oh god. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we just moved everything to the other screen so that even if it dies, we will be.
We're gonna be okay.
We'll be okay. Okay. Will I really am says, how do world leaders deal with tanks and knights? I recently got into the army and they shred infantry, but strength 10 seems to bounce off high armor. Yes, toughness 11 plus is a little tough for you. Just how it is, right? You can take a Mauler Fiend, but there's no guarantee you can actually connect the Mauler Fiend with the things you want to connect it with. Yeah. Whereas the entirety of your army is like strength 10 on the charge, which usually is pretty good. But into toughness 11 plus, it is a little tougher. So what you got to do is you basically have to either go after everything else, or when you go after the toughness 11 plus thing, you need to really wind up. And by that, I mean you need to get lethal sustained base. Like, you just can't do it otherwise.
Yep.
And you shoot it with, like, a Forge Fiend. You throw a grenade. You charge it.
You basically take all the outs. Right?
Yep. You just, like, if you're going into a Vindicator, right, you want to make sure that... A Vindicator is not actually that hard. Like, if you get 8 bound into it, you're likely going to do, like, 6 damage, and then they have to shoot directly down or they're going to die.
Right.
Because you don't actually lose that much damage for being off the charge into a Vindicator. But, like, if you shoot the Vindicator with a Forge Fiend and then potentially throw a grenade and charge it with 3 8 bound, it probably is dead. And if it's alive on 1, c'est la vie, you got to get it next turn.
Right.
Into things like Knights, that really is you got to wind up a big punch.
Yeah.
Right? You can't be content leaving a Knight alive on, like, 10. You have to shoot it with 2 Forge Fiends, charge it with, like, Karn.
Right.
Lethal hits and like and rerolls and the whole 9 yards. That's basically what you got to do. Or you just sweep the board clean of anything that is not toughness 11. Yeah. That also plays.
Kill everything else.
Yes. All right, Ryan G, $20 super chat says, I'm not sure if you guys have realized how insane subterranean assault detachment is. Jack, please read the tunnel network strat and tell me what restriction isn't there. Also, 125 point Haruspecs are bananas. Yeah, 125 point Haruspecs are pretty crazy. I'll be honest, I didn't read this one that much before.
It's really quite good.
That's what I heard after
really
we recorded the
now, how good is to be determined, right?
Yes.
But it is super sick. Has some really interesting things it's doing. And I think, like I said before, is like the crown jewel of design.
How is it locked content, man? What is this?
Oh, because you have to technically have the Tyranids Codex or whatever. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. They've been doing that on the app. Any of the new detachments that come out.
All right. We're going to because you can download it from.
You can download
Warhammer
it. Yeah, it's on Warhammer Community still.
I would have thought like all the new detachments and crap you can just
no, because all the I think it's probably the app is just coded that all detachments for X book just go into the little lock section.
Where is this?
It would be
not Grotmus detachments.
Not Grotmus. It's somewhere though.
Wow. Codex FAQ and Errata. No. Combat Patrol. Wow. I guess other rules. Other rules.
Oh yeah, there are other rules. It was right at the top. Yeah.
Okay, we've got. Yeah, I mean, I've heard this thing is crazy from some people whose opinions I respect. I didn't hear anything about it from John, so I just kind of assumed it wasn't that good.
Yeah,
but I guess that is how it is.
It's good. I know he likes it. So
well, found that out afterwards. All right. Every time a Tyranid's model makes an attack, no matter what happens, you roll a hit roll of 1, which is a crazy detachment rule.
It's a really good baseline rule.
And then what rule are we looking at here?
It was go to the strats. It's I believe this is probably the burrow out of combat.
Tunnel network.
Yeah.
1 Tyranid unit for your army is wholly within 9 inches of 1 or more of your tunnel markers. Remove your unit from the yeah. There's no restrictions at all.
Yeah, you just leave.
You just leave.
The restriction is your opponent removing your tunnel network,
which is way too much of a hassle for them to do, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, this detachment is definitely bringing like deep strike shoot vibes because you can.
It's real
you can
good.
And you can take a Tyrannifex and run it through.
Yeah,
the
I think
tunnel.
with the context of the Subterran Assault Force or whatever you want to call it, it probably moves Tyranids to like an A tier army, if I had to say.
Yeah.
I think they're like we just like missed like a little on that one. Like I think they're very good. It just Subterran makes them actually like really quite good.
Yep, I would agree with that. Ryan G $5 super chat says also to further highlight my latest super chat, you can create tunnels before the end of your movement phase as well. Okay, so you can create a tunnel and then skidoo your unit out of there.
Oh, interesting.
So it gives your army like 1 CP
Just
teleport out of combat.
Just leave.
Yeah, it seems good.
So they can't destroy the tunnel.
And it's any unit, not just like non-monster,
Cool.
non-vehicle.
Dude, I love the tunnels.
Dude, the tunnels should not let you move monsters through them other than Trigons and Molochs. What are we doing?
Tunnels are so cool.
Dude, if like, listen, a bunch of Zoanthropes wiggle their way through the tunnel like, and they get out, that's fine. That makes sense.
Can you put a Tyrannifex?
Yes.
He's tunneling, dude.
You can.
He's broing in. Off my 40 mil tunnel marquee, he fits in there. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you can drop a T-Fex in with acid spray shoot and then just like teleport it across the board. You do what you want, man. Listen, this was all brought to my attention after we recorded the thing.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's neato. All right. Red Rum says, any upcoming events the crew is going to, singles or teams? I saw John's name for the GW Open Edmonton.
Yeah, John's doing that. Me and Nick are going to a local GT this weekend.
Yes, that'll be fun.
What are you doing, Jack? You doing anything coming up?
Well, I just went to 4 40K events in a row.
Yeah.
I went to 3 in a row. So
I think ATC is your next one.
ATC is my next. Well, I'm going to a 3-man in like a local 3-man in like 2 weeks or something. End of the month. I mean, that's just funsy.
Yeah, you're just chilling.
Right, I get to chill with the homies. Right, I got a 3-man team. I got Tuck and Morgan on my squad. Like we're gonna rock out. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, ATC is like my next like real big one. Okay. I guess. Yeah. I need a singles event sometime, or my elo's gonna like spiral out of control.
It's getting out of control, dude.
My last event was LVO. We looked it up before the stream.
You did.
Like,
you gotta fix it.
Oh my god, I'm almost out of the top 100 at this point.
And then I think that's it in terms of upcoming events for a bit.
Yeah.
Richard was gonna go ATC, but he's busy.
He's busy. We got a cool team. I'm happy with our team.
We do.
That's gonna be fun. Nick finally bought the ticket.
We did. They did almost sell out. That was a little close.
But yeah, no, ATC. If I go to 4 team events in a row, I got to stay at the last one, right? Mm-hmm. Like, or 4 events in a row,
right?
Like, I better pitch a couch at that event, So, what document were we looking at? We were looking at Meta Monday, 40K Meta Monday by JCMS. He has his own site now.
Yep,
pretty cool.
Great.
Check it out.
You can find it on the Warhammer competitive subreddit. It's usually pinned at the top, or you can just go to the website. I don't know, just search Warhammer Meta Monday and you'll find it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, also apparently no limitation for Titanic on the tunnels as well. So,
incredible.
So, just bring a Hierodule or a Hierophant
whatever they're called.
Harridan all out through the tunnels. Just big tunnel.
Oh man, it's so cool.
Tunnel snakes rule.
Tunnel snakes.
Tunnel snakes. I would love for there to be any exciting news about Grey Knights, but there is none currently.
0.
Nope. All right. Thank you all for joining us. This was we got a super chat. Right under the wire. We got a super chat from Ryan G. Further emphasize my point. Keep in mind this basically gives any Tyranid model 6-inch deep strike and charge as long as the Moloch Trigon came in. Yes, there's no restrictions on the detachment at all. That's what makes it really good. Maybe even makes it too good. Who knows? TBD.
Oh, so it's kind of like demonic incursion.
Yeah.
Tyranid form.
Yes.
That's cool.
That's not the word I'd use for it, but
That's cool.
Yeah, because demons kind of, they're big monsters.
It's just a much better version. I think Tyranids use it a bit better than demons do.
Tyrannifex is my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Tyrannifexes on the...
No,
you don't see that on the...
Tunneling my grid and clean one wouldn't be quite as cool.
Oh.
Here he is. Here's Fat Boy.
Yep. All right. Well, that is it for us for today. Thank you all for joining us. This has been a bit of a silly one, but going over the meta, going over how things are going over the Bristol GT, and we'll catch you guys all next week.
Later.
If you like this stream, subscribe to our channel, and you'll get notified next time it goes live. If you think we're idiots and that we don't know what we're talking about, you can always leave us a comment down the description or down in the comments down below. and I will read it and I will cry on the toilet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's
don't
what
worry.
happens.
You guys definitely let us know about the tier list.
Oh yeah, you weren't a fan. They're never a fan. They're never a fan of the tier list. Doesn't matter what you do or what you say. They're never a fan. Because like, if you appease the people who leave the mean comments, someone else that you already appeased would have also just left a mean comment. It doesn't matter.
Look, it's gonna be okay, easy players. It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be all right. Okay. Peace out, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.